Hey fools, it's T and I'm finally back giving you my impressions of the Nintendo Switch. I've had the system for about a week now, so that's more than enough time to give at least my first impressions of what the console has to offer, its cons and its advantages and things of that nature. So I would have done this earlier, but I had to get a tooth pulled. Needless to say, that was painful, and so I've been out of commission for a couple of days from meds and just pain and whatnot. So that's all behind me. Time to get into it. I had initially planned on doing this big unboxing thing because I had all these items pre-ordered. I had over $600 worth of crap for my Switch, but problems happened with shipping and whatnot, and pre-orders got canceled and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, there's been 1,000 unboxed videos for the console. I would have showed you everything that I would have had anyway, so it doesn't matter at this point. Let me just give you my impressions of the console itself, what I see for it and things like that. Gonna make some minor adjustments here. Yeah, I'm in focus, looking good. Yeah, let's get the console itself in focus. Oh, whoa, oh man, whoops. Yeah, so let me go ahead and get into it. Opening the box up here, obviously. Yeah, so these little Joy-Cons, man, they're way smaller than I thought they would be, which is, fine, because actually pretty comfortable. Pretty comfortable for me anyway. I know some people think they're a little too small. I thought I would think that as well. So I went ahead and bought a Pro Controller, which you'll see later. Here's the console itself. Tiny, man. It's just, again, you just don't realize how small the thing's gonna be until you get it in your hands, and slide the Joy-Cons on pretty easily here. I can't get over how small it is, and not only how small it is, but how light it is to have all that tech put inside. I don't know what the official specs are. None of us really do. But by all accounts, it's just under a Xbox One, original Xbox One, and that's pretty powerful for something so small. I mean, just think about it. Look at the size of the Xbox One, the original, at least. Even the other one is still pretty big, the Slim, and just to have that much power in a small little device, and it's pretty cool. And you see me here just showing you like some size comparisons with my PSP here, and you can check that out, and also my 3DS comparison is pretty close. Like the 3DS is slightly smaller as far as lengthwise. They're about the same thickness if you don't count the top screen. Here it is with the PSP case. Smaller. I thought it was about the same size, but it's a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner, not as thick. And obviously I also got Breath of the Wild for Wii U. I'm going to keep that sealed for the collection, so that's cool. But yeah, I really enjoy this console, man. Like, I was really surprised that I found myself using the Joy-Con grip a lot more than my Pro Controller. And I only really bought the Pro Controller because I wanted to, have less wear on the Joy-Cons and grip and whatnot. But I've been using it a lot more than I would expect. It's not where I feel like, oh man, I have to use the Pro Controller for more traditional games or anything like that. I just, whatever's there, I just grab it, and to me they're pretty equal. Obviously they have different feels, but I'm pretty used to both of them. And here you see my Pro Controller here. If you follow me on Juice's Loops podcast, shout out to Juice and the boys. We do a podcast every week on Mondays on Terminator Juice's channel. Link in the description below. So I talked about the fact that I really like the Joy-Con grip, because especially for like fast racing, because it forces me to be technical in how I hold it, whereas the Pro Controller, I just want to kind of just grab it and hold it equally on both sides. But I think the Joy-Con grip kind of forces me to hold it differently, almost like the N64 in a way, or even like the Dreamcast controller, where you don't hold it the same on both sides. You kind of, maybe you grip the right side or the left side, and then on the right side you kind of let your hand float down a little bit, and forces me to be more technical. Here's some more comparisons here, and I just find it really really cool that way. Like, I can't play fast racing RMX with the Pro Controller. I'm only comfortable using the grip, and that sounds weird to you probably, and it's kind of weird to me. I expected it to be completely different, but it just turns out that way, and here it is with various controllers that I have. So you can get the size comparison there, but the Pro controller is super flipping comfortable. I like it comfortable. I find it more comfortable than the Xbox One controller even. I think the face buttons are a little fat and thick. I don't know. That's the one thing that I find a little bit off, and maybe that's why fast racing I have problems with. But anyway, the hardware itself is great. I'm very impressed with it. The UI and the eShop is very bare bones right now, and obviously the system is kind of new, obviously, and those things will likely come. I'm pretty sure Nintendo's probably already announced the fact that they're going to be adding stuff, certain features and whatnot, which don't bother me, but obviously the system is pretty barren as far as snaz and appeal. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have the character that I liked. I like from the Wii U. Like, it doesn't have that kind of it doesn't have that kind of character to it. I'm sure that stuff will come. They just want to make sure the games would work well and all that, and it's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do, because the custom backgrounds and all that stuff is coming, and it'll be a console that'll be more customized and more to whoever the user is. So yeah, I mean, I am very impressed with this. I don't know why any tech person wouldn't be impressed, because of the size and the portability of it. And I've been using it all kinds of ways. I took it to the restaurant once and did tabletop, me and my son, before we got our meal and stuff. And people were, oh, look, what's that? Is that the Switch? People everywhere know what this thing is, which is way different than the Wii U. And a lot of people are excited. I was really surprised by that. So as far as the games go, I'm really enjoying Bomberman whenever I get a chance to play it, because obviously, like everybody else in my friend list, they're all on Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which obviously that is the game to have for the Switch. And I mean, what do I need to say about it? The game is amazing. It is amazeballs. It is greatness personified. And I mean, everything that has been said about it is true. Everything that needs to be said about the game has already been said. I have obviously haven't beaten it yet, but it already feels like it's better than basically my favorite Zelda of all time, although I kind of go back and forth between that and Link to the Past. But it's probably Ocarina of Time, because Nintendo 64 is my favorite console of all time, so it only makes sense that it has my favorite games of all time. And it is probably better than, obviously we're talking about two different eras here, and, at the time, Ocarina of Time was the game. It was amazing. There was nothing like it. It won all the accolades. It got 10s. It got, best game of all time and all that kind of stuff. And, I'm sure we'll go back and forth between what's the best game of all time between Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild, because, it's kind of like comparing basketball players from two different eras, like who's better. It's kind of hard to do that. You kind of got to put them in their era and what was better in their era. And that's where you get into the weeds a little bit. So, this is clearly the best game I've played in this era. And, Zelda Ocarina of Time was the best game in that era. So I'll just leave it there, but, greatness. And, obviously there's not a whole lot of games. There's 9 games, I think. Blaster Master actually comes out. It's supposed to come out today. I looked and it thought it would be out, but it's not out yet. And the games that I own, I really enjoy them. I'm looking forward to new stuff. And this is a great launch for the system. I just want to say, like, people that over and over again, people will see me with my Switch and be like, I'm not, I haven't played a Nintendo console in a long time, but I want to get that Switch, man. I want to get that Switch. And I hear that over and over again. People know what it is. This is not like the Wii U, where I had to tell people that this is the new Nintendo console. I told so many people about the Wii U. They had no idea what it was and that it came out. And that is not the case with the Switch. Everybody knows what the Switch is. people that aren't really gamers like that. Guys who, like I said, aren't really Nintendo fans have come up to me and been like, yeah, I want to get one of those Switches. I'm going to wait a little bit. But for them to be even in tune and even know what it is very different. So just want to tell you guys, avoid the noise. Don't, there's going to be a certain contingent of guys here on YouTube, especially, who are going to be pounding on the coffin, trying to get the last bit of hurrah they can get based on what, their style of videos and, basically they're hating on Nintendo and whatnot. Ignore that stuff. It's up to Nintendo right now. This console is headed for greatness, but Nintendo has to get it there. And I'll tell you why they can in another video. I have a pretty cool video about the Switch and why you should be excited and what the great things about it are, or potential things. So look out for that. Yeah, that's it for my impressions here. I love the console. I'm going to go back and play it right now. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did you get one? Are you going to get one? What's motivating you? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching and listening, and I'll see you fools next time. Peace out. Oh yeah, one more thing. Play Nintendo, fools. Do.